Hey guys, it's me, Sustale, or Sawyer. I've come back around to talk about FNAF as is usual on this channel, although to speak more specifically about the Afton family. I'll probably keep it brief as I might make a more in-depth video about each of them in the future. Keyword here being might. Probably will, but we'll see. So, as a stereotypical YouTuber would say, let's get into it, shall we? First comes William Afton, the 5-foot-something greaseball of a man. Honestly, I find it a lot funnier when he's not, portrayed as that intimidating, and actually quite pathetic, as he would most likely would have to be to do what he does in canon. So, excuse me if I'm not that serious during his description. Of course, he's one of the founding fathers of the Fredbear franchise, alongside Henry. William would like to tell you that he's the mastermind behind everything, but that's not quite true. He does kind of like the attention that comes with being the face of the company for a while, but if there's one thing that he hates, is the bad sort of attention. Which is why once the worst shit with that franchise starts happening, he pushes Henry at the center of it. You know, like an asshole. Will doesn't like to responsibilize himself for the bad things that happen, so he ends up throwing other people under the bus once things get tough. As a husband and a father, I say that he's fine at best. William is a very 1980s business dad sort of character when it comes to his kids. You know, working all the time, always in his office, yada yada. Doesn't pay that much attention to his kids, although I would say that it also depends on which kid we're talking about. As a husband, he's pretty much of the same. And he doesn't, love his wife. He does, but he just also leaves her to do everything that's actually family-oriented. And on that note, let's get on to the titular Mrs. Afton, or Kathleen if you know her. She's a good mom, tries her best, despite being constantly stressed from having to take care of 4 kids basically by herself. Because sure, Michael says that he's 17 going on 18, but he's still her baby boy. Formerly a ballerina and having a degree in pedagogy. Fuck, how to say that? She's a teacher. She occasionally gives suggestions to the Fredbear brand to either make it more something kids would actually like, since both William and Henry can be kinda lacking in that category, as surprising as that may be, or to make it a little more educational. She says that teaching kids that pizza is healthy is a bad thing. Kathleen is pretty cheerful, in the calm way. Until things go down the shitter, that is. But let us not mention it. As it is, she's a very big people person, and it really shows. Now, the man, the myth, the legend, the Twitter artist's favorite character, Michael. What is to be said about him? He's just a pretty cool guy, loves sappy soap operas, and is a certified dumb of ass. Well, not really, because he's actually very smart, but, personality-wise. Since he's not the foxy bro in this AU, I'd actually say that he's a pretty good brother, to the extent that he can anyways, since he tries not to spend too much time at home. Listen, I'm a subscriber to the high school dropout Michael theory, okay? Okay. It just fits his vibes. Purely because of 3 reasons. 1. High school fucking sucks. 2. He didn't feel like it. And 3. Tired of getting compared to his dad. I mean, Michael already thinks he looks nothing like his dad, so there's no point comparing him to Willy Boy over there. So, he also doesn't want to be compared in the intellect category, even though he thinks that William is not actually as smart as he says he is, but shh, don't tell that to anyone. Besides that, I think Mike is just a chill guy who you can talk to about your problems and he'll really listen. Maybe give advice if that's the sort of thing you're seeking. And he buys you McDonald's afterwards, probably. Now, as most of my friends would know, he is my favorite character of all of them, Hunter, aka the Foxy Bro. He's a terrible brother, but to be fair, he's a 14-year-old boy with anger issues. And no one sends him to therapy. Well, until things get bad, but He plays baseball and, much like Willy Boy, he's secretly, not so secretly, a furry. He either stole the foxy head from Fredbear's or made it himself. He just really liked the character. He always like treated his siblings in a more jokey manner because he's the sort of person you can never really tell if he's being serious or not. And most of his more bullyish behavior only really started after Lizzie went missing. He acts a lot like a early 2000s movie child flick older brother, if that makes sense. Honestly, I actually have a lot to say about him, but I'll spare you guys the suffering for now. You know, until I make a video about him. Next is his target of bullying, the crying child. Or Cassidy, although I do just call him Kaz. Biggest crybaby in the world, at least in the eyes of all the neighborhood kids, plus Hunter and like, maybe Elizabeth, and maybe William, but let's not go there. He's a very sensitive kid who just doesn't like getting constantly made fun of, like, who'd have thunk it? Personal headcanon to the crying child had always had sleeping troubles, but it really aggravated after the disappearance of Lizzie, which he didn't witness. Kaz just gets easily scared, but does have other hobbies outside of crying and stuff. He's very close in personality with his mom, I'd say, especially before everything happened. And close in a relationship too, because she made all his plushies and taught him how to sew in case they ever got ripped on accident. And in that case, he's always also pretty close to Michael, although they have a really big age gap. Last but not least, the youngest of the family, Elizabeth, or Lizzie. She's pretty much a child prodigy, or even a gifted child, I'd say, being very smart for her age and taking after her father's love of robots. That, and she does also take a little after his constant need to be the center of attention, but in her defense, she was just a kid who liked praises all. Unlike Cassidy, who liked the Fredbear entertainers as characters, she liked them as robots, simply put. The type of child who would dismantle a toy and put it back together, you know, that sort of stuff. And, like, she's surprisingly bossy since she was, like, the youngest Afton kid. I'd say that, like, if Michael was 17, she would have been, like, 7, which means they had a 10-year age gap and she, like, bossed her brothers around more than he did. It's really funny. I don't know. And that's pretty much where I'll leave it. Yeah, it's strange to cut out of my talking out of nowhere, but I sure have been talking for a while. Plus, I did say I would go more in depth to them in their individual videos if I do end up making them, which I think I will, but no promises made. So, enjoy the rest of the video, I suppose.
like it too.